Hello everyone, I am C. Shwet. Today I am here to explain. Today I am here to present a video presentation on decision making in C using if, comma switch case. It contains of five topics: statement, if statement basics, if else pairing, else if ladder, switch case power, compare and best practice. If statement basics, basic if structure. The simplest if structure checks the condition and gives a block if true. For example, for checking an integer is zero, if the condition is met, it prints the confirmation message. The basic structure introduces the use of curly braces and importance of condition being true. If statements checks to takes the inputs and takes the input and compare it with the other inputs. Minimal example. Consider this C code if x is exactly equal to 0, printf x is equal to 0. Here x is checked against 0. If x equals to 0, the message is printed. This example demonstrates the minimal requirement of for an if statement without any else clause. If with relational operators. Relational operators in if. Relational operators like greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, are not exactly equal to or not equal to are using if statements to compare values. For example, checking if age is greater than or equal to 18 to determine voting eligibility. This helps in making decisions based on numerical comparisons. Voting eligibility example. Here is a simple program. If age is greater than or equal to 18, printf you are eligible to vote. This checks if the user's age is 18 or above. If true, it prints the eligibility message. This example shows how relation operators drive Boolean outcomes in if conditions. Boolean outcome. The outcome of the relational expression inside the if condition is a Boolean value. If the condition evaluates to true, the code block within the if statement is executed. Otherwise, it is skipped. If else pairing. Classical if else balance. Classical if else balance check. In a banking scenario, for if an if statement checks the balance is positive, if true, it prints a confirmation. Else, it handles a negative case. This demonstrates how if else provides fallback opinion without needing a second condition. Nested if else grading logic. A nested if else is used to convert numerical scores into letter grades. The outer if the check, the outer if checks the range and inner if refine the grade. It mainly provides intervention and structure. Dangling else issue. A common pitfall is in nested if else is the proper dangling else problem. Without proper braces, the else might attach to the wrong if. By this, we can get an error in the code. Order of conditions. The braces are need to be attached carefully according to the code. Else if ladder. Else if for shipping. An LCF ladder is used to calculate courier charges based on weighing weight brackets. Each LCF test arrange and the first matching condition executes its block. In an LCF in an LCF ladder, it tests the LCF range. It tells the LCF ranges. It is test the LCF range. Sequential evaluation. If in an LCF ladder, conditions are evaluated in order. Once a condition is true, corresponding block is executed. In a LCF ladder, if the condition is true, the block containing the correct condition is executed and the rest are skipped. This ensures the only most relevant condition is processed. It mainly saves time. Multiple if versus else if. Multiple if can execute multiple if blocks, while if else stops at first match. Switch case power. Switch case for menu navigation. The statement is used to navigate a text menu based on the user input. Each case calls a helper function and the default handles the inputs. If the switch case for each switch case has a default condition, the default case has more importance because the input is not because if the input is not valid because if the input is not valid, it prints a default case. Discrete values. Switch statements are ideal for using discrete integer values. They compare to jump tables, providing faster dispatch compared to if else chains. If this makes them suitable for scenarios with many constant values. Switch wall through weekday. Compare and best practice. If ladder versus switch. Compare an if ladder to a switch statement for mapping error code to text. The switch statement is often faster due to its gem table implementation, making it more efficient for discrete values. Performance considerations. Switch statements can be more performant than if-else ladders, especially with many cases. They compile to jump tables, allowing direct jumps to the relevant case, reducing execution time. Readability and maintenance. Choosing the right tool. Choose if it for the conditions and range are the ordered non-overlapping conditions and switch for many discrete values. Each has its strengths and it's suited to different scenarios. Thank you.